Happy Wednesday morning, April 7, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Wednesday edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday, so let's begin. First up, let's begin with your COVID-19 numbers for today. Let's take a look at those right now. And here is a look at those COVID-19 numbers for all of you right now. There are 86,510 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. There are 1,249 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire, and there are 94 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And those are a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. State epidemiologist blames 60% increase in new daily cases on relaxing restrictions. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When it's time to invest in a new roof, be smart and look at more factors than just the final price. Not all roofs are the same, and not all roofers are the same. Ask the
State epidemiologist Dr. Benjamin Chan says the state is averaging 400 new infections per day right now, a 60% increase from the beginning of last month. Test positivity rate and hospitalizations have begun to rise too, pointing to growing community spread. Dr. Chan says these increases are likely due to people relaxing restrictions too quickly. And if people fully let their guard down now, this pandemic will be more difficult to control in the long term. This as school districts prepare for a full return to in-person classes April 19th, but some say social distancing on buses will be nearly impossible.
Your regular 73 pupil bus can accommodate maybe 25, 27 students. And there are just not enough buses, and there are not enough bus drivers.
Governor Sununu saying while the state recommends physical distancing,
there's no mandate or absolute requirement or anything like that. So in some of the few cases where some of the distancing, especially with transportation, might not be able to be met, that's okay. There's some flexibility there. They can use that flexibility.
More people are getting vaccinated, but the majority of the state is not fully vaccinated just yet.
We're going to have higher levels of COVID for the next couple months. I think we have to understand that's part of the spring surge. But by protecting the most vulnerable, protecting those that might go to the hospital or it could even be fatal for, that's the real key. And we've been able to do that.
Dr. Chan says the more contagious UK variant is predicted to become the dominant circulating strain in the US in the coming weeks. He says the vaccines are effective against it, and he's asking everyone to get vaccinated when it's your turn. Keep wearing face masks and social distance.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man rescued from dairy fire to face first-degree murder charge, investigators say. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Summit Packaging Systems is hiring for all shifts. Summit knows stability, security, and growth are extremely valuable. You'll develop skills to succeed and earn steady income and benefits. Apply online at summitpackagingsystems.com/careers today.
breaking news right now, an update on a fire and suspicious death in Derry. The state attorney general's office says the man rescued from that fire, who is now in a Boston hospital, will face a murder charge when he's released. They say a woman found dead inside that home is likely Lynn Marie Viana. They say she was killed by a gunshot wound to the head. Investigators believe her estranged husband, Manuel Viana, shot her, and they say there were ignitable liquids found around her body.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. All veterans, their spouses, caregivers able to receive vaccination through Manchester VA. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Their reviews, our reviews.
I'm so happy.
Find out what we're all about at adamvroofing.com.
Under the Save Lives Act, VAs across the country can now administer the COVID vaccine to veterans, spouses, and essential caregivers who are not currently eligible or enrolled in the VA healthcare system.
It's exciting because we have more supply now. Supply is increasing, so we really feel we can reach out to those veterans that want to get the vaccine, who may have had struggles getting it on the outside.
The VA is getting their own allotment of Moderna and Johnson & Johnson doses from the CDC.
We do try to let people know who wanted the J&J, what days we're going to do it if we know, so that they can get the vaccine that they want.
The VA's vaccine coordinator says to be able to offer the vaccine to veterans and the people they depend on is exciting.
In the very beginning, when we were having our World War II veterans come in, I can't tell you the number of veterans that tried to offer their vaccine to their wives or their caregivers.
Veterans can register online or they can register in person at the VA in Manchester. Proof of military service is needed.
I just ask for patience. We got a lot of veterans and spouses coming in, especially with the expansion of the COVID vaccine.
And if there are any questions about the vaccine, staff say reach out for help.
We see there's some hesitancy about getting vaccine. If a veteran or their caregiver or spouse are hesitant about it, call your provider and have that discussion.
Something else important to note, anyone coming to the facility here in Manchester to register in person could get an appointment the same day. Reporting in Manchester, Kristen Carosa, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. COVID-19 issues force UNH football to opt out of remainder of the season. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Their reviews, our reviews.
I'm so happy.
Find out what we're all about at adamvroofing.com.
Unfortunately, due to this virus, we couldn't get close to the next game.
Head coach Sean McDonald saying it was a hard realization that they couldn't control COVID after having played only one game in their season that had to be delayed to this spring because of the pandemic.
Feel for the kids, feel for the other coaches in this program. It's difficult when every day this thing affects you in so many different ways.
Senior tight end and Hanover native Jack Cavallero still digesting the news.
I just found out a couple hours ago. I mean, it's really tough because we put in so much time, over the last year and a half getting ready for this.
They played one game this season, Albany, on March 5th, and it would be their last. They had to cancel 3 straight games because of COVID protocols and had 2 left on the season. Senior defensive end and co-captain Brian Carter says it was tough to get the news. He went into the season with a strategy.
Going into this season with the threat of it being canceled, I had to go into each game or each practice saying like, hey, this might be my last.
And for him, that March game was. The senior says he likely won't be playing again next year. Coach McDonald says any seniors that want to come back in the fall have a guaranteed spot on the team.
We're going to have a great opportunity in the fall.
And they are expected to start that fall season on September 4th. Reporting live, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire leads country in distributing COVID-19 vaccine. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Mainly Tubs is now open in Bedford. New England's largest hot spring spa dealer is now serving central and southern New Hampshire. At Mainly Tubs, everyone can afford to relax with 60 months interest-free financing on every hot tub, sauna, and swim spa during their grand opening. Take advantage of incredible offers like a free saltwater system upgrade with every saltwater-ready hot tub. Join the celebration going on now through April 26th at 1 South River Road in Bedford, New Hampshire, and at mainlytubs.com.
We're not at the point where we should be taking victory laps on anything, right? We're still in the thick of it. We're working so hard, just trying to get the vaccine out.
COAS is leading all 9 New Hampshire counties by a significant margin. 25% of its population is inoculated. That's more than double the percentage in Hillsborough County, where 12% of residents are vaccinated, according to the CDC.
So I don't really focus on any individual data point. It's nice that we're doing well, and I think overall we are doing well.
The strategy for distribution is tailored for rural versus urban, and vaccine supply into the state determines how much each county is allocated.
How we distribute the vaccine in those areas can be very different, and I think the team has just done a very good job appreciating those differences and making sure it's available to everyone.
Another point of pride for state officials is the high vaccination rate among New Hampshire healthcare workers.
We have a lot of folks in our healthcare workforce. I think we're #1 in the country for healthcare workers getting their vaccine, and I think that gives a lot of confidence to the general public as well.
New Hampshire Motor Speedway will host another mass vaccination event this weekend, but fixed sites like this one at SNHU are phasing out soon.
I think over the next few weeks, we're going to try to get more doctors and more pharmacies just to come on board and be part of that long-term solution for individuals. The state does not plan to be in the vaccination game for the long term per se. We're here as part of the crisis, and I think we've done a very good job. And now get it back into more the traditional healthcare system.
And Governor Sununu says expect to see an aggressive approach over the next few weeks in transitioning away from 211 and those fixed site vaccine locations. Live this evening, Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. No new COVID-19 deaths reported as hospitalization rise. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Mainly Tubs is now open in Bedford. New England's largest hot spring spa dealer is now serving central and southern New Hampshire. At Mainly Tubs, everyone can afford to relax with 60 months interest-free financing on every hot tub, sauna, and swim spa during their grand opening. With over 100 hot tubs available for spring delivery and hundreds more on the way, you'll be sure to find a perfect fit. Join the celebration going on now through April 26th at 1 South River Road in Bedford, New Hampshire, and at mainlytubs.com.
Well, tonight, growing concern over another surge of COVID-19 cases, both here in New Hampshire and nationwide. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Monica Hernandez.
And I'm Tom Griffith. Today, state health officials reported 402 new cases of the virus, including at least 85 children, but no new COVID-related deaths.
So far, 18.4% of the state's population is now fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and just over 17.5% of the state is partially vaccinated.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Heartbreaking encounter highlights crisis at U.S.-Mexico border. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
I'm here to compare the Microsoft Surface Pro 7 to the iPad Pro. Surface Pro has a built-in kickstand. iPad Pro is just a tablet. Surface is a full computer and a tablet. And now, the price.
New and difficult images from the southern border. A young boy alone, in tears, approaching a Border Patrol agent, telling him he'd been abandoned by his group and was scared. Tonight, reports more than 19,000 migrant children are now in U.S. custody. And our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, just back from the border on this again tonight.
Tonight, the fear etched on that 10-year-old's face and the hurt in his voice. Can you help me? he asks a Border Patrol agent who found the little boy, that solitary figure wandering on a barren field near the U.S.-Mexico border in southern Texas. Through the tears, the boy explains he wasn't traveling with his mom or dad. He was abandoned, ditched, in his words, by the migrant group he was traveling with.
¿Vienes con tu mamá o tu papá?
Nadie. Yo venía en un grupo que venía de entrega con usted y al final me dejaron botar y venía aquí a pedir auxilio.
Sobbing, the boy telling the agent he was scared of getting robbed or worse, kidnapped.
También me pueden robar, secuestrar o algo.
Te pueden robar.
Thankfully, he was found by authorities and taken to this child detention center in Donna, Texas. We just returned from Texas after flying over that very same facility, now rapidly expanding to handle the thousands of additional migrant children and teens expected. ABC News has learned there are now over 19,000 migrant children in federal custody. And the Donna facility recently so crowded that children were forced to take turns sleeping on the floor.
And Matt Gutman with us from LA County tonight, where officials, I know, are setting up a massive new facility there to house migrant children as well. And Matt, you're learning more tonight about that young boy?
Border officials, David, tell me that they are assured that he is now safe and they are working him through the system. They believe that sometime in the next few weeks, he will be handed over to family members here in the United States. But, David, that is a process that is on average lasting more than 5 weeks. So still a long road ahead for that little boy. David.
Matt Gutman live in California tonight. Matt, thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here.
Okay, and that does it for this edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit, and I'll have a weather report coming up in a little bit as well. Goodbye, everyone.